Well, hello everyone. I would like to show you what I've done in the last couple days. And to go straight into it, the most obvious thing you will see is the volumetric fog, or rather the God rays resulting from them. This is a very beautiful effect in my eyes, and it's more or less a simple way to get more depth into the scene. I think one needs to be careful not to overuse it, and I will need to make adjustments so it only shows at certain times of day under certain conditions, but overall I think it adds quite a bit to the scene. Then you will see the trees are new, the roots are new, the trunks are new, and that goes for these trees as well as an entirely new tree, which I just need to find. Give me just 1 second. There we go. Birch trees. I have now also added birch trees, which should add more to the variation as well. That is quite nice. You can also see, if I now move on to the next biome, any second now, I've added quite a few tree stumps, which makes sense in this dry biome. And while at it, you can also see that the clouds have changed. They are now animated as they move. Before there were static noise just being moved around the screen, but now the clouds themselves shift their shape. Also, there's animated grass now, which I'm using throughout the biomes. Before it was all static and has now been adjusted to be this way, which I think is also quite nice. It has some implications about the way I construct my BVH for the ray tracing, and there is a couple small issues that I've introduced which I will now need to address, but that's going to come in a future version and is not actually giving me any headaches at this point. Then let's move to the lush environment here. There's also a birch variant. There's a few new mushroom types which are also now added. But overall, I think the biggest change is still the volumetric light, and certainly something that adds a lot. Okay, moving on to something else which I'm probably not showing often enough, which is the editor. One thing that I did is improve my pose mode, which makes it a lot easier for me to come up with good-ish animations. It's still a bit finicky in some situations, as you can see, but overall it allows me to come up with believable poses a lot easier, especially if I actually do it on a changeable animation. So if I have something here, I can position and it will create keyframes on the places required to achieve the pose that I want, and then can move from there. It is quite helpful. It is still a bit finicky in places, but it's still a lot better than not having it. Before I needed to do each bone individually, which is of course quite a big pain. But yeah, I think that's about it for now. So thanks a lot for sticking around if you did, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.